Good morning, friends. Back in the woods this morning with my Mora 120 wood carving knife in simple holster that comes with the product there. Just a simple plastic holster right there. It works out fairly well. And something I like to do when I come out into the woods, if I don't have a walking stick slash spear with me, it's kind of like the archetypal bushcraft quick project to do. The first thing you want to do is you want to find a piece of standing dry timber. For example, you see all that stuff in the background here that's fallen on the forest floor, all of this stuff back in here, or even stuff that's still attached sometimes to the forest floor but is punky. That stuff's no good. All of this junk, you can just snap it with your foot. Great for starting a fire, but really no good for a stout walking stick. So what I do is I look into the kind of middle canopy of trees. For example, like some of that stuff that's hung up in the middle of trees, you see like this one right up in there, that might be a good one as well. And that's how I actually got this one right here. I don't know if this is either white birch or hemlock. I really couldn't tell, but it was hung up right up in there. So what I do, this was about 10 feet long, a little too long. So what I do is I put this stuff in the notch and then I just crank on it with all my body weight and snap that into the dimension I want. And this thing is still about 8 feet, a little long, but, and then what I do is take the Mora 120 and I sliced off all that bark and kind of funk, because there definitely was some rotting and bark that was on there, made that nice and smooth. And the wood is actually very stout because it was standing dry timber, or not standing timber, but it was hung up in that canopy as mentioned. And then I fashioned a very crude, quick and dirty spear point. You know, just something fun to do. And also just had that little degree of security like our forebears would have, you know, trouncing around in the woods alone. Who knows what kind of predators you might encounter in the woods. Of course, there's really not much out here except for, as mentioned the other day, coyotes. There's a pretty black cherry tree right there where my index finger is pointing. Love eating the fruit of those. Check out my video. I'll post a link to harvesting black cherry in July, and it's only April now. I always enjoy making these sticks when I come into the woods, and sometimes I'll save them for years on end. This morning I didn't have one though. But, you know, just with a simple Mora knife, you can easily create a nice walking stick and have a good time in the woods.